Hey, you guys know we can't stream the game live, but I just wanted to. We moved from our location down at the in the end zone on the. I would say that's the midway. I don't even know what you would call that, but it's like the concourse. Yes, that's a great name for it, the concourse. And so we moved from over there, and we came up to the press box to kind of charge our devices and things like that. But I wanted to bring you this wonderful view of the stadium right off the highway. It's truly an amazing view, and it looks, this is a top notch FCS stadium. I don't know. I'll try to show you guys, you know, and I definitely want to get, um, you know, because this is my first time here, and Coach Cole has some interesting, uh, insight as to how this all came to fruition. But uh, how does it? Y'all on camera now, guys. But I definitely wanted to get. Uh, is this the best uh, stadium in Black college football?
Oh, without a doubt, hands down, it's probably the best FCS stadium in the country, bar none. And it's one of those things that you say they hit the home run. They hit a with 3 men on a grand slam when they done this deal. And this deal all started back in 1999 when me and my brother was at Tennessee State, and was a guy named Donald Watkins who was on the board. And once they had got the money and got things put in place to build a stadium, and this is his story, that he went around and asked, well, who is the best black coaches to take us to a Division 1A level? And evidently we were recommended to him. He flew down in a private jet and picked us up and brought us back to Montgomery, where we, indulged in food and everything. And they walked us on campus and laid it out of where this stadium's going to be at, what it's going to look at. They showed a VCR tape at that time of what this stadium going to look like. And I tell you, man, it's beautiful. It tells you what we can do as HBCUs, in making the commitment to this facility, because what this facility does, it brings recruits here, it brings student body here, and most of all, it makes you feel proud as a student, uh, and not just a student athlete, just as a student, to be able to walk in this beautiful uh, stadium and to say that this is the school that I went to.
Coach, one of the things that coming from family, I'm jealous. I'm not going to even lie. This is such an amazing facility. We're up in a beautiful press box. They actually have suites, like I was telling you on our way up. If FAMU had something like this, we'd be able to sell triple the suites and the amount of revenue that would go to the school. So once again, this is where I'm always disappointed, where politics always comes into play with our schools.
It's so crazy, because analytics make a lot of decisions. And just let's go back for a minute. This would be even before my time, when when everybody went to black schools. And Florida A&M, I've known Florida A&M with Jake Gathers. They had 3 teams. They call them blood, sweat, and tears. And that means they put 3 teams. That's how good they were. So you would just have to imagine, if that was today, that all these kids you see at these major schools, all they did was go to black schools, right? So what I'm getting to, we were dominating back then. Black colleges, the predominantly white colleges wouldn't even play us. And when they do, or when they did, they would get beat down. But here's the difference. We had no vision. Our leadership back then didn't have no leadership. And so we didn't put nothing away. You know, I know at the Orange Blossom City Classic back in them days, sold out. The big game up in New York, Grambling and Morgan State,
State.
sold out.
Yankee Stadium.
Texas Southern, Grambling, Space City Classic, sold out. Prairie View Grambling, sold out. Bayou Classic, sold out. Magic City Classic, sold out in them days. It wasn't nothing but, and then the regular season games was packed. And no black school put together money and said, something, we need to put some money in our athletic department, and start growing and start building on a stadium. Now, the first one who did it was Florida A&M, built the stadium, and they still playing that same stadium they got, and we could do better. What you think, Mr. Campbell? I just a little bit. I didn't want to really get off into a
Coach,
but
Rocky knows
we had winning football just about in every black college.
Well, Coach, I'm going to keep beating this drum. There's another part to this, and it's always the underfunding. Because to your point, we were getting funded, and then our funding got choked off. So then it's like my mother said, what are you going to do? Are you going to pay to eat, or are you going to pay to buy a car? You got to eat first. So we are all these schools, and I've talked about this ad nauseum. Florida A&M owed $2 billion. North Carolina A&T owed $2 billion. Southern owed $1 billion. Tennessee State owed $1 billion. Alcorn owed $800 million or so. I can go on and on and on. Jackson State being constantly underfunded. So the thing about it is, if you gave me my $2 billion, guess what? I'd have a really nice facility. But it also does come down to, which I'm going to say I'm very proud of. I think the alums realize that helping the cavalry's not coming. And I hear a lot of alumni associations saying, hey, we're going to raise money. We want to figure out ways to be innovative, to create bonds and things like that from a private sector to get these new facilities. So I think there's a renaissance because, Coach, we talked about this when you went to school, where I went to school at, and then we had, kind of a lull. Now I see a renaissance back where everybody cares, and they really want their football teams to be good, Coach. People care about HBCU football now. That's why they're watching this show. They want to hear you talk about it. Now, I'm telling you something 10 years ago. I'm telling you right now, I know most people couldn't even name an HBCU player. Think about that.
Yeah.
But because of people like you and Scotty that come on.
Yeah, definitely Scotty.
That are able to talk about these players and the interest. Think about the interest in this season, Coach. I get more texts from people and mess from my folks from Jack State. We're going to beat y'all October 19th because we're going back to the Celebration Bowl.
Right.
Those are the things. The people here at Alabama State, they have an expectation.
Yes.
To be HBCU national champions. That means something. So I'm really excited about that, Coach. That's the part that I'm really excited about. So to your point, that I think it has to be both sides. You know what I mean? We have to put the political pressure, but we also we got to dig in our own pockets.
Right. Well, once again, and we both know that the state don't fund our athletics. And I guess so what you were saying with all that money that we were making in them days, that money was taken to help run the university.
Correct. That's the problem. Yeah. Can't split the money.
Yeah. But again, we can't continue to do things the old ways.
Right.
We got to be able to get out. We got to be able to hire the right people in places, to have that mindset to get out and raise funds. Once again, even Hornet, even this stadium, as we sit here and look, has Hornet Stadium up there, which it should, but also it sits on the highway. We're looking at the highway. Highway 85 and 65, where you heading to Atlanta or you're heading over to Jackson, Mississippi, or down to Mobile. And if we sit here for the next hour and count the cars, it's like counting dollars.
Coach.
So it's got to be somebody's name up there. Hyundai, somebody that's going to donate us $30 or $40, $50 million, for naming rights.
Coach, my eyes lit. You see how big my eyes got?
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting up here thinking about where we're facing. And to your point, what if it was Hyundai, Alabama State Stadium, that everybody saw coming past it? And I mean, guys, it's a beautiful day because people say how the weather's amazing.
Right.
But those are impressions.
Right.
That can be sold.
Right.
And you see this all the time. I tell you what, that we're looking at a billboard right there on the highway. And again, people know I have a business. And one of the most expensive advertising is highway billboards. You know why? Because of the impression that they get 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Right.
And you will be surprised how much a billboard costs.
Right.
So to your point, we have a big billboard that can be utilized
Right.
and sponsored.
And I, you know, again, we sitting up here on the 5th floor, and I'm over, and to my right, I'm looking at a hospital right across the street. I wonder have they bought a suite. And what we got to do, and Rocky, me and Rocky had a real good conversation about fundraising and things, because we always talk about that. And just like he said, anybody that does business with a black school should be a donor, should be a suite. If we're gonna be doing, let's sign us a 5-year contract, but in them 5-year contracts, you got to be buying a suite. You know, there's ways that it can be done, and we just got to get out of our way and go ask and talk to the right people, or don't do business with them. You know, and we could do that as a group, you know, a conference, you know, and hopefully you know, we can start getting that done, because every school that we have in our conference should have something like this.
Yeah.
You know, when you start talking about the former players at like Southern University, you know, their stadium is pretty too. Their stadium is beautiful, but it's been pieced together, you know, but it can't touch this, you know. So I'm gonna hand it over to Rocky. I know he's fired up. I got him started.
No. What I'm saying is, as beautiful as this stadium is, and I would show you beautiful as the stadium is, but they have slogans and banners all around the stadium, which that's nice. That's awesome to have those slogans and banners. But it would serve the program much better if those slogans and banners were actually advertisements by sponsors. You know what I mean? Because you can look at those slogans and banners that are around the stadium, and if you tied a monetary amount to those, then at the end of the day, if you charge $5,000-$10,000 annually for those banners, just think how much money that would be for the athletic program, and even just to, because the stadium takes money to maintain a stadium of this size and this magnitude, and it could assist in the maintenance of maintaining the stadium or expanding it. So even in this stadium, it's nice, it's plushed out, it's super. I see areas of opportunity where fundraising can be done, sponsorship partnerships can be made to create revenue that benefit not only the school but also the students.
Well, you know what? You just made me think about something. And Coach, we talk about this, but the NFL does something that is great. The NFL basically has a finance fund that they help their owners go get financing when they want a new stadium, because they want to make sure that all the stadiums at a certain level. So don't be fooled if you think these owners go. The NFL helps facilitate that. So the thing about it, Coach, what just and Rocky talked about this. Why does the commissioner say, okay, to each school, instead of all of them working as separate entities, saying, you know what, how can we work together as a collective to help you get finance?
See, now you're asking for millions, and you could legit. I'm giving you, what is it, 12 SWAC schools?
12 SWAC schools.
You know, let's take the enrollment. Let's just throw in, I mean, not enrollment, but attendance of games. Let's just do a total of 2-3 million people come to all the games during the whole year to see your advertisement. I mean, that's worth something. You know, that's worth something. So, you know, we got the ideas. You know, we just need to throw them out there to our uh, uh, watchers, and you know, and maybe they can go back and share that to their universe.
That's what I'm saying. It really, I keep telling people this. There's no new idea. It's just new to you. Somebody has already thought about it. Somebody's already created. All you have to do is copy it and make sure it applies to you. Because one of the things that, again, when we're talking about fundraising, why are we not sharing best practices across the conference?
Right.
What is Grambling doing that FAMU's not doing? What is FAMU doing that Bethune-Cookman's not doing?
Well, that's some questions that we probably can ask the commissioner, and maybe one day we can try to ask to see if he can come on our show, or, you know, maybe start off at the athletic director level to kind of ask those questions and see, you know, like you said, instead of doing one school, why not it be a collective thing? and because then now you got bigger numbers, and that's what the SEC done. And really the first school that I recognized that really done that was Notre Dame.
Yeah.
When they got the first TV rights on I want to say it was ABC and
NBC.
I mean
NBC.
NBC. And next thing you know, it just turned into a roller coaster. The SEC jumped on it, the Big Ten jumped on it, the Pac-12, and next thing you know, that's the big thing now. It's getting TV rights. And it's all started from the NFL. So, like you say, you could do a whole bunch of things on a smaller scale.
So that's the thing that, again, and I think that's the frustration. The level of intellectual brain power between these 12 schools that we like to brag about our alums at all these Fortune 500, and I'm talking about outstanding business people, but the disconnect between the school and the alums who can help them execute has been the frustration that I think now has been going on for 50 years.
Yeah, I hate to say it, ESPN is have taken big advantages of us. You know what I mean? We were just so happy to be on ESPN, and ESPN is probably back in the back room smiling and saying, "Whew, man, I'm glad we got them." Yes. Because here's the deal: when I first started talking, I don't even think people know that the SWAC conference got more Hall of Famers, coach, than 90% of the major schools.
Yeah.
90%, coach. That means back 60s, 70s, 80s, we were putting people in the Hall of Fame. And we were, yeah, and we're putting greats in there. When you say wide receiver NFL, you say Jerry Rice. When you say running back in NFL, you say Walter Payton. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so on, sack leaders and all these great players that came from Black college. And we still struggling. We still got coaches staying in the office. We still got coaches making full-time coaches making $35,000 and $40,000. We can do better. And it's time for us to know better. And with all this money and this the podcasts and all this, there's money out there to be made, and we need it at the HBCU schools.
Well, Coach, I just want to make one point, and I'm going to say this about the ESPN thing. And people always say there is value. Because if you don't believe there's value in the Black consumer, ask McDonald's, ask Coca-Cola, ask Kia, and on and on and on that target us. Ask Home Depot, who has the largest, richest Black HBCU national database, and they give you $100,000 say thank you. And mind you, they have made millions off of that database because they sell that information to all these other companies. All those other emails that you get because you do to retool your school, they've sold it to 100 other companies. So don't think that, I hate when people say, "Oh, we can't get this, we can't get it." I understand, no, Coach.
You can't get it if you don't ask.
But I understand what people, I always, it's about proportion for me, Coach. If the SEC is worth $100 million, Coach, you're going to tell me we're not worth at least 15% of that? 20% of that? There's no way you're not going to, because Toyota has told me I am. McDonald's has told me I am. So I'm not going to have other people tell me I'm not. So again, it goes back to what you allow people to do to you. And we've allowed in the media rights, especially ESPN, because to your point, we just glad to see the ESPN banner. We're just glad to see it.
Oh man, we playing on ESPN.
We playing on ESPN, giving us $10,000, and we made them $100,000.
Yeah, shoot. Yeah, that's
just
in one city. That's just in one city. Because you got to get on ESPN3 now to watch some Black college, and that's $5 or $10 membership. A month
residual money that they're getting, because most people don't cut it off. They'll just leave it on. Think about it. So they understand that, hey, we'll put you over here behind a paywall because you're going to pay for it.
Right.
That's beautiful. Right. We are the ones keeping their streaming rights alive.
Right.
So
and I can't understand why we just won't put a hold to it. The people at the top to put a hold to it and start over. No games will be on ESPN until we sit down and get some type of meaningful contract. Where we lose out from not playing on ESPN, I'm pretty sure now with all the streaming and stuff that you can do, each school could do it themselves and get membership out there. At least the money now, the third person is gone and the money is going straight to the university. So there's ways in there. But hey, glad you guys were tuned in again. We're gonna move around some more. We'll come back, right, Rocky, for the after the game. Right now, the offense is doing a super job, and they're moving the ball up and down the field. And in the spring game, it's now 31-8. And when you play in a spring game against offense versus defense, the defense scores by stopping the offense. They score by turnovers, and they also by not letting the offense go down the field and score so many yards. And that's how the game is played. And right now, the offense is winning 31-6. So
what I was just gonna say, it's not surprising, but the whites are winning again. So. But no, we're gonna get it.
Okay. No, I was just explaining how the spring game go, and like you just say, they are really putting it on the defense. All right, thank you.